This is the most important election of your lifetime. And whether you like Hillary Rodham Clinton or Donald J. Trump doesn't matter. There is only one person you can vote for. We cannot have a country led by a president subject to ongoing criminal investigations, potential indictment, and never-ending hearings.
So that was Judge Jeanine Pirro in 2016 talking about Hillary Clinton. But now, look at where your candidate is.
Crooked Joe Biden is not only dumb and incompetent, I believe that he has gone mad, a stark, raving lunatic with his horrible and country-threatening environmental open borders and DOJ, FBI weaponization policies. He is a mental catastrophe that is leading our country to hell.
Oh boy, projection much? I can't believe politicians still defend him, but here you go.
And, you know, I want to say this, there was no quid pro quo when President Trump asked Brad Raffensperger to go and find 11,780 votes. He didn't say, go find 11,000 votes and I will appoint you to something or give you a membership to one of my clubs. All he said is there was chaos. There was a lot of problems with the drop boxes and the chain of custody. Go back and do audits and see if you can find votes. We think there was some fraud. And I do think that's going to be proven in this Fani Willis case. I think they're going to prove that there was fraud. And on the electors, by the Constitution, we had every right to have those electors. And if we didn't win the lawsuit, there was a pending lawsuit. And if we didn't win the lawsuit, then those electors were moot. And so we had every right per the Constitution to do that. And we better start fighting or we're going to lose. We'll be in the minority if we don't fight as Republicans.
That's Georgia State Senator Brandon Beach saying there was no quid pro quo. He told Raffensperger, find me all those votes, but he didn't promise him membership to his golf club. So that makes it legal. Yeah, they're just making things up at this point. Here's your candidate again. Let's see how he's doing.
Full subpoena power because of the freedom of speech sham indictment by Crooked Joe Biden, deranged Jack Smith and the DOJ. It has just been reported that the unselect January 6th committee, they are unselect indeed, of political hacks and thugs, has illegally destroyed all of their records and their documents. So they took all of their records, all of their documents, they reported it, tried to get me indicted, and probably did, and then they destroyed everything.
Hamana, 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 select committee, unselect committee, here's a nickname for you. Doesn't he wish they'd gotten rid of the evidence? Doesn't he wish? You can't get rid of the evidence. It's already out there. The phone call to the Secretary of State in Georgia is out there. We've heard it all a million times. The fake electors are out there. The convictions are coming soon. Already a lot of the people who attacked the Capitol on January 6th because Trump was in cahoots with them are being sentenced. And now these indictments have come down and he's just putting out these videos on his fake social media page, just coming up with stuff, rocking back and forth and going, you know, the Joe Biden criminal, DOJ, FBI, just throwing stuff out. All you got to do is put one little doubt in your followers' minds and then they go with you. I'm surprised. This is not a Democrat-Republican thing. This is a criminal, non-criminal thing. Anybody who is for the rule of law, anybody who is for democracy should want Trump to be tried fair and square, and let's see what happens. The evidence is so obvious. And then that Georgia State Senator who was saying, like, no, all he was doing was saying there was some ballot boxes and this and that, and the fake electors weren't fake electors. There were electors that were ready to go in case the election got turned. They tried in 60 different jurisdictions, court cases, and they lost. His own people were telling him he lost. Bill Barr, who I'm not a fan of, told him he lost. His own head of elections told him he lost. And yet he decided to go with all the cuckoos, the Sidney Powells, the John Eastmans, the Rudy Giulianis, all of those folks, and try to break the law and overturn an election. And he knew it, and we know he knew it, and yet they continue to defend him. Judge Jeanine Pirro is probably defending him. Back then, when Hillary was under investigation, we can't have a president who's under investigation. Now you've got a president who's 4-time indicted. and he keeps committing crimes. How hard is it to see? It's so easy to see that this guy's a crook. This guy wants to be a mafia boss. He thinks he's above the law. And if nothing else, if you're a Republican who believes in law and order, who supports the blue, you should want Trump to be thrown in jail because he broke the law many, many times. He tried to overthrow democracy. They attacked the Capitol. They came this close to executing Mike Pence, hanging him, and killing Nancy Pelosi. He took the worst elements of our country and he sicked them on Congress. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. You shouldn't want that. That's not a good thing. That's not rule of law. That's a dictatorship. That's fascism. And Donald Trump is a narcissist, and he should go down, and he will go down. And shame on these people who are trying to defend him and run circles and spin things. Shame on them, because they know better. Shame on the Lindsey Grahams, the Ted Cruzes, the Josh Hawleys, anybody who's defending this guy. And they were in on it, by the way. They were willing to get rid of democracy in order for them to win with cheating. And at the end of the day, at the bottom of all of this, is the fact that a lot of these people are afraid they're losing power. Because there's a lot of good white people in America. But there's a handful of white people in America who are afraid of immigrants and people of color that are coming after them. And they want to hold on to the votes. And that's why they didn't want the votes in Georgia to count. Because a lot of people of color showed up and they voted to support Joe Biden, and Joe Biden won. And they want to take away those votes. So whether you're a white person or a black person or an Asian or an Italian or whatever you are who voted in the elections, you should want your votes to count. We, as America, should want our votes to count. I should feel assured that when I vote, it will count. And these guys just threw a bunch of doubts into the minds of their followers, and they said that the election was stolen. It was not stolen. They tried to steal it, and they didn't get away with it. And now Trump is sweating on his social media, Truth Social, which is a horrible name for someone who's lying all the time. That's the most ironic name ever for that guy to have named his social media Truth Social. It's a bunch of lies. Listen, please vote Democrat. And if you're going to vote Republican, then vote for a Republican who's not a crook. This guy makes Richard Nixon look like Big Bird. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I'm Maz Jobrani. I got a comedy special called The Birds and the Bees. It's on YouTube. It's free. Watch it, enjoy it, and support the rule of law. Whether you're rich or poor, you should always want to support the rule of law in America. Support it. No one's above the law. Not even, as Jeanine Pirro said, the guy who's being investigated and under indictment. Even Jeanine Pirro said it. I hope she sticks to it. She's not gonna. I'm Maz Jobrani. Bye-bye.